Welcome to the 96 Test Wing message update for May 27th. I'm Andy Borland, Director of Public Affairs for the Test Wing. Joining us again today is Brigadier General Scott Kane, the commander of the 96 Test Wing. Good day, General. Welcome.
Thanks.
Would like to ask you to start on kind of our move into recovery stage 2 and what that means for the base, and then as you see June kind of unfolding for us.
Yeah, sure. The base has a recovery plan. Just to remind everybody that we go through stages, stage 1 through 4. And each stage is a incremental step getting back to normal, if you will. Recovery stage 2 started on Tuesday, and what that means is we've started to add some non-mission essential activities back into our day-to-day routine. And you've seen some of those openings that have happened on the base, and they will gradually do so as the conditions hold or get better. And we've also made the telework posture slightly different. We still have a lot of people teleworking, but if they can't do their job via telework and support the mission for that day, then we bring them to the base. But otherwise, we're still a very aggressive telework posture. The other big change is we changed the base off from a mission essential only posture. So before it was mission essential only, official business only, and we've rescinded that. There's still no visitors allowed, but we're not on that mission essential only posture. And that gets some of our folks back to the workplace as well to continue a gradual expansion.
One of the things that I think you focused on also is just the continuing to enforce the health protection measures on base and face masks and that sort of thing. I think that's a key concern of yours, even as we move into these higher level recovery.
I'd say it's beyond a key concern. I mean, that is the key to our success as we continue to operate. And the message that I'm telling everyone is that national defense is not going to stop. We have to keep doing this mission. So we hope it doesn't happen, but if waves of the pandemic were to hit us, what those protection measures do is those continue to keep us at a level posture where we can execute the mission. So all those health protection measures really become the key to our success for the long haul here. So as we open up more, we keep those measures in place, but that allows us to continue executing the mission, which what we do here just can't stop. We have to keep testing and training and preparing our warfighters. So all of those measures, some of which you mentioned, that's what they're there for, and that's why everybody needs to keep executing those.
Yes. Over the weeks that we've been doing this, I think you've been very pleased with how the test mission has continued, and really, in some cases, perhaps surprised that it's been as efficient and as strongly performed as it has been.
I give all the credit to the unit commanders that just got way ahead of this and came up with plans to do shifts to protect their people and to continue the mission. It's test, it's training. We've kept EOD school training going. Our Army team is training and ready and deploying. So it's across the board. And I have to give the credit to the unit level for coming up with the strong mitigation plans and for keeping those health protection measures in place, because that is what's gotten us through to where we are now. And that's what we're going to keep doing, and we're going to keep executing the mission based on those plans that they've come up with.
Excellent. Let me shift gears on you a little bit. Now that we've come through Memorial Day weekend, we have entered into the hurricane season, and the importance for everyone to be prepared for that. I'd like for you to elaborate a little bit, if you would, on the hurricane season and getting ready for that for the next several months.
Well, most of Team Eglin was actually participating in a hurricane exercise, which we did, and we thought that was important to do now, not just because of the normal progression of entering hurricane season, but also being in the COVID-19 environment. So what do we need to do differently because of that? And there's some things that are fundamentally different. For example, if you had to evacuate, we haven't been traveling very much. So how do you travel, or where do you go? And those are some of the things that we worked through during that exercise. And there is information out there that all the units have now that tell everybody, down to telling families, here's how you travel now. Here's some precautions you can take. Here's what it means to go to the gas station and go to a hotel and to get on the road if we had to get into an evacuation kind of consideration.
Speaking of that preparedness, we've just completed work with the civil engineering group in terms of a number of videos. It'll be available on SharePoint. It'll be available on our YouTube channel that talks about medical preparedness, the emergency packages that you should put together for your papers and things that you need household-wise. All of that will be available, I think, even beginning tomorrow. But one of the other issues that dovetails into that is helping agency support. You know, we still have people that were here from Hurricane Michael, from Tyndall Air Force Base, and there is stress and anxiety that goes along with that. What are some recommendations for our people to deal with that sort of anxiety and stress?
Well, I would say two things, both just to be ready, but also to deal with that stress. Is listen to the base. So we're going to provide information on the hurricane, but also on things that are there to support you. And so there's a ton of information available on where those helping agencies can be found, what services they offer. So listen to us. We'll help you through the hurricane season, but we'll also help you get to those helping agencies that you mentioned. The other one that is important for both reasons, again, is have a plan.
Right.
Having a plan will lower that stress level, and the plan might have to be a little different this season based on those things I described. So have a plan. We will guide you toward when you have to perhaps evacuate, but that's not the time to make a plan. So come up with that in advance. Know what you're going to do as a family, and that'll lower that stress level as we go through this season as well.
And you mentioned the exercise. I will say that, you know, we have a lot of people here on base that have been dealing with the hurricane season year after year. And in terms of the leadership element, I think that there's a lot of experience there. So I think your point about relying on the base to communicate that to you is very solid.
I agree 100%.
One final subject, and top of mind in a lot of the community, has been the recent accidents that we've had here on base. I'd like for you, if you would, to talk about that for just a moment in terms of where we are and how you felt the response went.
Yeah, sure. The response has been great. I'll make some more comments on that. But where we are is there are 2 accident investigations, safety investigations that are ongoing, and those are going to continue until we get to the root cause and figure out what caused both of them. So that's an ongoing process that's kind of deliberate, and we won't have the results from that for several weeks. But we are safely returning to operations for those aircraft as we speak. The other thing that I wanted to give some thanks for was the incident response. The incident response, kind of like the hurricane response you mentioned, is absolutely phenomenal. I want to give some thanks to our first responders that were out there literally putting out fires. So the firefighters, the security forces who protected the scenes, the medics who took care of our pilots, and also from the community. There was a lot of support there from ambulance support to firefighting. So it was an incredible response, especially in the midst of a pandemic and then happening a second time. Team Eglin didn't miss a beat. It was really impressive, and I appreciate it. A couple other thanks that I want to give on that as well. I want to make sure I thank those maintainers and egress techs that got those pilots on the ground in a good chute. That made a world of difference in our lives, that those pilots are safe. So I appreciate what they've done as well.
Excellent. I want to thank you again for joining us. I have one final thought. I know you always want to talk about staying safe, staying connected. Very important for everybody to do. But any other final thoughts on your end?
Yeah, sure. We took after the incidents, we took a safety pause. I really, I know that a lot of folks did, and I hope that you had a chance to reflect on what being safe means for getting our mission done and for continuing that mission as I've described we're going to do. So definitely want to emphasize staying safe, also staying connected. One of the teams that helped in that incident response was our FSS, and they're always out there helping us stay connected. Hopefully you've seen Put Me In Coach in the video they did. Right. They're being creative and coming up with ways to keep people connected. But even through those incidents, they were keeping us connected by supporting everybody out there at those incident sites. So I see lots of examples of that that safety mindset day to day, and how we're trying to stay connected. And I encourage everybody to keep doing that.
Excellent. General, thank you for joining us again today, and I want to thank everybody out in the audience for joining us as well. Stay tuned for next week. We'll do another update with General Kane.